Hi, I'm Dan from Earthchain. In this series we're showing you the power of automating business carbon accounting. In this episode we're looking at accounting for vehicle fleet emissions. If these are vehicles which are owned by the business, they'll fall under Scope 1 for fossil fuels and Scope 2 for electricity. There are many different ways companies track their use of vehicles in the fleet. Sometimes employees buy the fuel themselves and submit an expense claim with the receipt. Or the company provides fuel payment cards which employees use to refuel. These are often invoiced centrally with one invoice showing all the fuel purchases either itemised or consolidated by fuel type. Some companies track their mileage by simply logging odometer readings. Others do this, but in addition record the vehicle efficiency in, for example, miles per gallon. So there are all different fuels at play in different vehicle classes and different sets of units, weights and measures involved. Okay, let's give some of these scenarios a go in Earthchain. I've just uploaded 4 different ways of logging fuel or vehicle use. This one is a receipt typical of what an employee might submit with an expense claim. It shows the amount of diesel used in litres. This one, it's been redacted for privacy, but it is a fuel card invoice which shows a consolidated and itemised view of the fuel fillings, 3 different types of fuel, or 2 types of fuel and a fuel additive. This one is a customer distance log, so mileage log. The format doesn't really matter. We can deal with unstructured data in Earthchain. And this one is the same thing, but this one includes the miles per gallon figures for those types of vehicle as well. So they've been processed in the meantime by the Earthchain platform. Let's have a look at that fuel receipt that showed the 77.76 litres of diesel, which we captured directly from that photograph of a receipt. Looked up the relevant emissions factor for diesel in the UK government standard emissions factors, calculated the emissions accurately. In the case of the fleet invoice, there we've used the consolidated fuel records that were at the top of that invoice to calculate an emission for each of those consumptions. So that one is the diesel, and this one is the electricity measured in kilowatt hours, resulting in a CO2 emission. Then we have those 2 spreadsheets. This one is the one that didn't have the miles per gallon, so this is just distance logs for various types of vehicle, and then we performed the calculation, multiplied it out by the number of vehicles in the fleet, and calculated the CO2 emission. Fully transparent calculation. And then the slightly more complicated one where the customer has provided also the miles per gallon for each of those vehicles. Here we have a more complicated calculation. First of all, we convert miles to kilometres, then we work out what miles per gallon is in litres per 100, calculate the volume of fuel used, multiply that out by the fleet, and then look at the emissions factor and calculate the emission for that entire fleet. So there we go. All that flows into the Earthchain platform, and then you can commit it to the ledger to gain access to full analytics. I hope that this demo showed you how Earthchain accelerates data collection for carbon accounting to save you valuable time. The results are granular, evidence-based, fully auditable, and help you to take real focused action. Once you've committed the data to your ledger, it becomes available in compliant formats ready for reporting in line with regulatory standards. So keep following Earthchain for other videos in this series. Take a look back at the previous videos on automating purchases in general, on travel, and on utilities. And if you want to solve your time-consuming carbon accounting problems, you want to partner with us at Earthchain.